So yes, good morning, students. So now we will continue our class of what we were studying is microorganism, a friend or a foe. We will continue today's class with some interesting topics. But first, we will recall what we studied in our previous classes. We studied about microorganisms and how they infect certain animals and certain plants and what diseases they cause in them. So this was all our earlier class about. So let's move on with our today's class. So there are some pictures. You have to just see these pictures. So what you can see in this picture? Yes, it is a loaf of a bread. You can write your answers in the comment box below. Yes, it is a loaf of a bread, right? So what will happen if I keep this loaf of a bread outside like this for a very long period of time? So do you think there will be any changes in this loaf of a bread? Say about 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, I'm keeping it outside in the open. So do you think anything will happen? Yes, it will get spoiled. Yes, very good. So it will be like this, right? There will be certain change of color in it, right? Like this in the, as you can see here, like this bread. In this bread, the color is changed, right? First, earlier it was little bit whitish and yellowish color, but now it has changed its color. Here you can see what color it has become. It has become some greenish, blackish color. So mold has grown on it. So this is the change, one of the change that we saw. Okay, the food will get spoiled. What about this food? Yes, it looks very delicious, right? Right now it is it is being cooked. But what will happen if after being cooked, I keep it for like 2 or 3 weeks just in the open outside without touching it or disturbing it? It will also get spoiled. Yes, it will look like this. As you can see, something has started to grow on this food, right? Some, yeah, greenish type of things, right? So yes, the food is getting spoiled. So we can conclude from both of these pictures that if we keep food for a longer period of time, then it gets spoiled. But what about pickles? We are keeping pickles for a year or sometimes 2 years also, but it does not get spoiled. So why does it happen that pickle does not get spoiled, whereas the normal food that we eat, if we keep it for a longer period of time, it will get spoiled? So any answers from your side? Yes. Yes, very good. So because we are adding preservatives in it. And what are the different preservatives that we are adding to this pickle? As you mentioned, it was salt. Yes, very good. What else? We are adding turmeric. Yes. What else we are adding? Oil. Yes, very good. So these are the different preservatives. So today we are going to study about food preservation. Like what is it? What is the method of food preservation and what are the different things that we use for food preservation? So the definition of food preservation is a process by which food is treated and handled to stop or slow down food spoilage or the loss of quality, edibility, or nutritional value, and thus allow for longer food storage. So this was the proper definition for food preservation. So now we will move on ahead. And so yes, so according to you, now you know the food preservation, what it is and how we do it. But what is the importance of food preservation? Okay, I will give you 5 seconds to think. Yeah, and then you have to write your answers in the chat box, right? Okay. Yes. Yes, I can see the right response. Okay, yes, very good. So importance is like if if we have plenty of food right now and in some other season we are not getting that food, right? So to eat that food at that period of time for saving it for the future, that's why we are using this food preservation. Yes, very good. What else? Like if certain food we are getting in a particular area and not in other areas, right? So what so this is also like we can take the preserved food in that area. So this is also one of the importance of food preservation. Yes, so you all answered it correctly. Now coming to our curiosity question part. So yes, now Paheli have a question for you. She said that I bought some mangoes, but I could not eat them for few days. Later, I found that they were spoiled and rotten. But now I know that the mango pickle my grandmother makes does not spoil for a longer time. I am confused. And how could this happen? Now Paheli says that she bought those mangoes from the market. She kept it for a longer period of time. They did not spoil. They spoiled, right? But the pickle that her grandmother makes of mango, they do not spoil even after we keep it for a long period of time. So why is this happening? Yes, any answers from your side? Okay. Yes. Yes, right. You all are right, because we are adding food preservatives in it. And what are the different preservatives that we are adding to the mango pickle? That is salt. We are adding salt. What else? We are adding turmeric. Yes. What else? We are adding some spices. Yes, they can also act as preservatives. What else we are adding? We are adding oil to it. So these are the different preservatives that we are adding in the mango pickle. So yes, you all answered it correctly. Now coming to our last question for this topic, that is, why is food preservation important now? It's a very simple question. We discussed right now so many methods and importance also we discussed. So why according to you is food preservation important now? Yes, any answers from your side? So that we can preserve food for a longer period of time for future use also? Yes, right. So yes, you all are right. So now coming to our next topic for today, we will start it with a picture. So yes, what you can observe in the picture, you can write it in the chat box. Okay, you can see the jam is there, the sauce is there. Yes. So what about it now? So as you see that normal food is getting spoiled after some times, but even these jams and sauces, we keep it for a longer period of time in open. We are keeping it. So why are these not getting spoiled? Okay. Yes, because they are also having some preservatives in it. Yes, very good. So are they having the same preservatives as that of a pickle? Or yes or no? No, not as the pickle. Yes. So what special preservatives they are having? We will see them, right? They are having some chemical preservatives in it, which make them last for a longer period of time. So let's see what are these chemical methods of food preservation. So what chemicals we use? So salt and edible oils are the common chemicals which are generally used for the check the growth of microorganism, and these are called as preservatives, right? Okay, let's see some more details about chemical preservatives. So in pickle, what all things we are adding to preserve it and to prevent the attack of microbes into it? We are adding salt, we are adding oil, and what else we are adding? We are adding turmeric. So all these things we are adding. So now we will see some of the examples of chemical preservatives. So what are the two chemical preservatives that this first line is saying? First is sodium benzoate and second is sodium metabisulfite. So these are the two common preservatives, chemical preservatives, right? As you can see the pictures also, these two comes in a bottle, right? And these are also used in jams and squashes, like juice of fruit juices, to check their spoilage and to preserve them for a longer period of time. So this was all about what about chemical preservations, right? So now coming on to the curiosity question. So now what you have to do is you have to name some more food items where salt is used for preservation. Yes, in pickle it is used. Where else salt is used? Okay, you have to find it out. Okay, so you have to find it out on your own and then you have to write it in the chat box, the answer for it. Okay, so now we will see the next question. So here what you have to do is you have to name two common chemicals used for preservation. We just discussed right now. What were the two common? Yes, very good. First was sodium benzoate and second was sodium metabisulfite. Yes, very good. So these were the two chemical preservatives used for preservation. Okay, so now by this, our second topic for today is over. So now we will start our third topic. Before starting, if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask your questions in the chat box. We will wait for 5 seconds and then we will move on to our third topic. Okay, yes, so, okay, I see that no one is having any doubt. So was the topic interesting? Because it is like you must have seen pickles and all these preservatives at your home very easily, right? Okay, so now we will see some more preservatives. Okay, so now these pictures, there is jam sauce and different cold drinks, right? So what do your parents say when you regarding these things, like how much you should eat, in which quantity you should drink? So what do they say? Okay, Yes, I'm seeing the right responses from your side. Yes, they say that we should take these things in lesser amount. Why? Because they have sugar, more sugar, excess sugar in it. Yes, very good. So they have excess sugar. So now coming to the next picture. So yes, what we add in these two things as a preservative. Yes, we are adding salts, very good, oil and turmeric. Yes. So now we will see some of the natural and common preservatives that are used by us, that are salt, sugar, vinegar, and oil. So these four things. So we will see how these four things help in preservation techniques, right? So by salt, how we use, what all things the salt helps in preserving is like the meat and the fish can be preserved with the help of salt. We cover these meat and fish with the dry salt, right? And what else, where else we are using the salt? In preservation, we are using it for amla, raw mangoes, and tamarind. So this was all about how salt can be used as a preservative. Now coming to the next, by sugar, how sugar can be used as a food preservative. So sugar have the ability to absorb water. So what it does is whenever we put the food, sugar reduces the moisture content from the food. So it does not get spoiled so easily. And like jams, it is used in jams, jellies, and squashes, right? So this is how the sugar is used. Now we will see how oil and vinegar is used in the preservation method, right? So in which things we use oil and vinegar as a preservative? Like vegetables, fruits, fishes, and meats. Okay, so this was all about how different preservatives acts as a preservating material for different things or different foods. So now coming to our third topic's curiosity question is there. Paheli again has a question for you. So Paheli's question is, I have heard that vinegar is also made at home. How is vinegar made at home and used for preservative methods? So for this, you have to find it out your answer on your own. You have to ask your mother, like, how do you make vinegar at home? Right? And then you have to write in your notebooks the answer, and then we will discuss it tomorrow. Now coming to the evaluation part. So these are the different foods and you have to mention like which preservative is used for which food. So for meat and fish, you can write in the chat box which preservative is used. Yes, very good. Salt is used. Yes. And for vegetables, which preservative method is used? Yes, vinegar and oil. Yes, very good. And for squashes, sugar is used. Yes, very good. And for amla, which is used? Salt. Okay. And for jellies, again, sugar. So yes, you all answered it correctly. So now we will move on ahead and we will see some more. So here our class ends. This picture is also saying about the different preservatives, right? So now coming on to the recapitulation part, today we studied about food preservation and different methods of food preservation, like by salt, sugar, vinegar, and oil. And we also studied about the chemical preservatives that we use in our food, right? So these were the different food preservatives that we studied today. So now coming on to the homework part. So let's see. Homework is you have to answer all these questions and write your answers in the notebook. And then coming to the activity. The activity for today is what you have to do is you have to collect some packed food like jams, sauces, bread, oil, butter, milk, etc. And what you have to do is present at your home. These should be present at your home. Okay, you don't have to go and buy. And you have to observe the label and mention the types of preservatives used in each of these things. Okay, and you have to write write the names of the preservatives in your notebooks. So this is all for today. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the chat box. If not, then we will end our class here. Okay. So yes, I'm still waiting for your doubts if you have any. Okay, so now we will end our class here and we will meet again tomorrow with some new topics that are interesting. Okay, so thank you.